Give a fuck what you thought. The Griff Report. NFL Sunday, week 2. Fuck consensus. All right, folks. Like I said, if you're a consensus fan, this may not be the report for you. Top of the board, seeing all the money on the Ravens, hosting the Raiders. What do we learn from week 1? Ravens are still getting warmed up as they look like they were playing a rehearsal for a game in January, like a walkthrough, but weren't quite ready for the game yet. And even in the postgame, that's what it seemed like almost. But the expanded season, that's what you're getting right here with teams like the Ravens and the Bengals. The Bengals weren't ready either. They looked like they had half their team out there, and they weren't prepared for the ones that did. Other teams are locked in right now. What the Raiders did in the offseason, they put the chips on the defensive head coach, the mastermind that, he was on the Giants when they took down the GOAT in the Super Bowl. So he knows how to do things on defense. And the Raiders have been the top defense in the league since he took over. What else they did was belief in Gardner Minshew and his ability. Why would they do that? Think he's going to be the franchise quarterback out there, or going to be worth giving him a whole season as the quarterback? Games like this. Last year, Minshew was in Indianapolis. He went up there last September. The outright winner was the Colts, left out of Baltimore with the win. He comes in here with a better receiving core. It'll be interesting to see what he's going to do. Nobody believes in the Raiders at all after that week. That's a bad matchup. The Chargers are going to be a bad matchup for everybody since they got Harbaugh. It's going down. You can either get with the program or you can get you a loss. Those losses hurt a lot more when you put your money on them. This one right here, it seems like the free money. Is there ever free money when it's -9 in the NFL? It's not. You can believe me, or I'm gonna say fuck consensus. I'm putting my money on the Raiders. I don't bet a lot, but this is what I'm taking right here. The Raiders +9. Raiders over team total. The game over 41.5. I'll probably just take the Raiders over their team total because I like to root for them. I don't know. I just always, my parents bought me a Raiders football when I was a kid. I used to play Bo Jackson on Tecmo Super Bowl on Nintendo, and I was watching when he used to play, when he broke his hip out of Soccer. It was a Bengals game because that's my local market. So those are my two teams. So I don't know. I usually do better picking in those games, and that's what I'm rolling with. Raiders +9. Fuck consensus. Oh no, Griff, don't do that, right? All right, on to the next one here. You saw how bad the Giants were in week 1. They wore those funky Michigan-looking uniforms, looking like they could have been beat by a college team. But they come back here. They've got the Redskins, or the Commanders, I'm sorry, this week. The Giants are 3-0-1 against them in the last 2 years, 2 matchups a year here. So this is one of them. Washington, I mean, they want to win. Of course, they've got the young rookie quarterback. He's so new to the league, I don't even remember what his name is, so it'll be all right. I'm going to take the Giants here because they can't be as bad as they were last week. No other reason than that. And the rookie quarterback is on the Commanders there. It's down to +1. I liked it better at +3, but I'll try to money line it and hope they're down by a field goal or a touchdown to start with, and going to get some extra whatever I can with it. You know what I mean? Because that's a very likely possibility in this game here. And if they just don't look right, just lay off of it. But it's good. You can kind of check out the teams with live bet. And when the teams looks like they've showed up and when they look like they're still they got fed big old Kansas City barbecue the night before, got fattened up for the kill. Things happen like that. So we'll go on to the next one here, where the Bengals. Sorry, I saw that on my Twitter feed. That's on the logo for the game that the graphic designers have is the Kansas City barbecue. They might be fattened up for the feast here. Looks like Higgins maybe a no-go. Are they going to be able to bobble the ball like they did last week and win any game this year? Not likely. They had to fumble when they were about ready to score last week. Just an overall uncohesiveness that implied to me the whole game that they are not concerned about winning week one. They were approaching this almost like a preseason game. They didn't care whether they won or they didn't win because they weren't ready. It was obvious, the Patriots were in playoff mode already. They already know you got to win all the games you can if you're going to get in. So they're in that mode the whole season. I believe they're in that death ground situation. They have no retreat. So their motivation was right there. So watch out for the Patriots this year because that's them the whole year. Everybody there is fighting for their job next year. They know performance. Nobody's safe if they don't perform right. And that's the way it goes down there with that New England team. Their desperation, once you have that desperation with you, that fight will carry you through every obstacle that you encounter. That and the Lord. But the Chiefs look like world beaters, last week. But if Lamar Jackson don't miss the one throw and the toe touchdown on the line, then they were going to overtime and they could have been beaten right there, which is why the Ravens were so like, who cares? This game is the first game of the year. We'll see you all in the playoffs. And that's how they have to feel. They got the blueprint to at least be in position to win in the playoffs against Kansas City. Now, the Bengals do too. They've won 3 of the last 5 matchups, but the last 2 have gone to Kansas City. We see some, if Higgins is out, and really the departure of Boyd to Tennessee changes the Bengals' offense a lot. Well, Knott's may be able to keep up, and Brown's getting the ball too. They're going to have to get the ball more. They've got to get the ball to those running backs because they're getting pass coverage everywhere. When you spread it out 3 wide, I'm not even sure who the Bengals' third receiver is this year, but when they get the wide receiver spread out, they can't put the double team on Chase. That's what happens when they do that. The other guys have to step up at that point. The double team's going to be there if you don't have the extra wide receiver on the field. If you can't make them respect your run game, this season, Burrow's probably going to have to learn that Peyton Manning thing where he used to decipher the defense at the line and determine where the hat-to-hat matchup was going to be to their advantage and run to that side. I'm not sure how he does that, but I know he does that because I've seen him do it on TV, the telestrator and whatnot. That's one of those things that's going to have to develop in Joe Burrow's game if he's going to win the Super Bowl with the Bengals instead of, just getting on a run. When it gets tough once they have a year's worth of film on what the offense is doing, then everybody's made their adjustments. Then your first option isn't gonna work. You're gonna have to go to 2 and 3. Now, how good are you at deciphering what's going on? Well, we'll see here because this is another familiar opponent they've got a playoff game plan ready for what the Bengals like to do, and vice versa. The Bengals have a plan in place for they've beaten Kansas City at Arrowhead in the playoffs. Nobody else has done that since the last few years here. If the Bengals can spread that ball around, they might be able to cover here. They might be able to win. I wasn't going to slide in on the total. Then I was thinking they might play the slow-down game with both teams on sustained drives just to avoid getting so many hits on the players with this game here where there's offensive superstars everywhere. The quarterbacks, you think over. 97% of the money is on the over here. I don't think there's any advantage on that total play right there. It's going to be right around there, 27-20, 27-24. It could get over, it could get under. I don't know. The consensus, people are putting their money on that over there. My first thought was under, so I'll lay off of it right there. As I move on, consensus, give me the Bengals. No, I'm not touching that total number, no matter what number it is. I'm not holding that one. And Burrow is where I'll take and put my money at. Even with the poor Week 1 performance, maybe this thing turns into a shootout. At that point, anyone can win. Consensus is, of course, on the Chiefs. They look like, who's going to beat them? Who knows? The Bengals are capable of beating if they show up. But I got my Bengals wool jacket for when the weather gets cold. I'll take the 6 points. The Bengals plus 6. Move on down. New York. Rodgers and the Jets got the jab, gut punch routine at the hands of the 49ers in Week 1, and it was a beatdown. When you get ran on like that, it's a problem. I mean, and this could be a problem here. You know, if Pollard gets to going like he was in Dallas, it's a problem. If they're able to come in and run the ball effectively. Now, the last time the Titans went up to New York City, I believe they were favored, and that was when the Jets, when Salah had just first taken over. I believe it was upset, but it was a rough day up there for Tannehill in the bunch there. That was when the Titans were the first seed in the AFC that year. You know, I'm not sure if anything from that game is applicable to this game here. Rodgers, he'll get the Jets to a victory. So no matter how many games it takes to win, I guess I'll take them money line here. If that wins, it's good. If they don't win, I'll be back next week because they're due for a win. They're gonna get this team around. We'll see how long it takes here. You know, the Titans just didn't seem to be caring about winning last week because, man, as a Kentucky fan, I believe I've seen plays like that my whole life. But it just at the end of the game, that was sits the other way. And you can't be giving that up when you throw that ball out there like that. You just got to lay down and take your sack. You can't just throw the ball up for grabs. I mean, unless that's, I don't know, maybe they got some special quarterback methodology that's outsmarted my thought process on it. I've only played offensive line on the prison team, so I don't know about how the quarterback does his processing, except for Madden. You know, you can take the points here and hope you don't get clipped off. 3.5, you might buy it down to 3 or something. I like it better on the money line myself, because sometimes you end up wishing you just laid the odds instead of the number. I'll take the Jets minus 180 money line. Try to live bet that. When you live bet it, you know, just watch the game. Keep track of it, and hope that if you, at some point in time, both teams usually are behind at some point. 7-10, 7-0, 3-0. You know, get you a little bit a break on that because both teams came to win, and it takes a little while before things get sorted out with who's the superior when you're having a football game at this level. Now on to Denver. Where do you go with this historically? You say gut instinct on the Steelers versus the Broncos, then I look it up. It's been a long time. The Steelers haven't won in Denver since 2009. They've only played, this will be their 4th game since 2009 in Denver. Now the games played in Pittsburgh have gone Pittsburgh's way, but going to Mile High City is a different thing. Here's one stat for the guys in yellow. How about 24-6 for Mike Tomlin versus rookie quarterbacks? Now, who's at QB for the Pittsburgh? Is it Fields or Wilson? Wilson is still doubtful or questionable. Now, different storylines there. Last year, Fields lost in the game for the Bears, but he went 28 for 35, 9 yards per attempt, 335 yards, 4 TDs, and 1 interception. So if he plays that well with the Steelers, then he's got a better defense now. The rookie quarterback they're not going to put up a lot of points here. This thing is one where you definitely look at that under real heavy. If you're not comfortable with the side, the under might be the play. if Russell Wilson comes back, I don't know how the situation didn't work out in Denver, but it didn't work out in Denver, so he's on to Pittsburgh. Is there any animosity there? I don't know. We may see if he gets on the field. We might see a situation where Sean Payton just knows how to stop Russell Wilson, and if they put him out there, we might see one of those sides, some jostle back and forth between who can you really stop me? Do I know how to put you over there crying after throwing an interception, or do I know what defense you were going to play, and how that cornerback was going to react to this look, and I just beat you all deep. We'll see how that chess match works out if Wilson gets on the field. If he does any, I don't recommend laying the number here. Me personally, 3 on the road. I know Pittsburgh +3 would be great. I slide over to the money line though. This could be the under here, like I said as well. You want to look at that one. This is the type of game. There's going to be a whole lot of running, a whole lot of ball control, because that's just how the Steelers defense really puts its they put their grips on a team when Pittsburgh's able to run the ball, because then our defense is well rested. They're not getting worn out, and if it goes that way, we'll see how it goes. My dad always was a Steelers fan. He passed away this June 15th. But I'll take the Steelers -140. My dad was a Steelers fan because he was born in the area. Now, if you guys need any more picks than that, you may want to seek professional help. I mean, literally, because if you don't have the right stats and some of the right thought process on gambling, you just follow that consensus all day. You know what? We'll see how it goes. Most of these here, these are not the consensus picks. As you know, this is I'm not a follower. I look at myself. You got to be able to spot the deception and recognize it for what it is. Because if everybody was right, the bookie would be broke. That can't happen because it's a $1 billion industry. As always, best of luck and enjoy your Sunday. This has been the Griff Report, NFL Week 2.